Welcome to round 5, the mini challenge series 2018 Cooper S-Class at Snetterton. This the third and final race of the Minifest race weekend. Reverse grid, I finished third and I'm in the last race and I'm starting third. So I got Stu Lane in the white R56 ahead of me with Andy Montgomery in his new R56 to my left. Make a good start compared to all the other races, and yet Rob in his red R56 goes straight past me, makes it look very easy. So I'm fourth. Okay, it's not bad. I am actually very, very stoked about that. I can see 3 cars ahead of me, and that's good. That's really, really good. And as long as I can keep everybody else behind me, I'm going to attack these 3 cars and win the race, right? So, now we've got that sorted, down to business. I am actually recording this before I've put the rear footage on, so I can't see what's going on behind me until the final edit, but you guys can. So that's a bit odd, but anyway, I'm not going to press stop and redo this because I don't want to. So I'm going to carry on. Fourth, lap 1, into third, right hander, Oggies, one of my favourite corners. If you take it right, you get a good exit to present yourself into Williams, which is the most important corner. Oh dear, didn't do that so well. The most important corner on the track to get a good exit onto the Bentley straight, which is where you can make up so much time if you had the straight line speed. Did I mention that in the last video? Anyway, there goes Tim Bill, because his straight line speed was amazing and he got straight past me. So this is where I'm thinking I had a great start, and yet on the first lap I've lost 2 places. So my poor starts aren't just about on the start line when the lights go out. It's actually what happens on the first lap. It just every race now, you know, this is my maiden season. The whole point of me doing these videos and commentaries is to review how I'm getting on, to sort of critique my performances, good or bad, you know, look at the positives and understand the negatives and see how I can improve. And there's a common theme here. Every single race I seem to be dropping places on the first lap, which is annoying as yeah, it's annoying. So I got to try to go down the outside just like I did in round 4. Tim is a bit wiser to that now, so I try the undercut, and it's he who dares, last of the late breakers, into the left-hander of Palmer, which is normally a 4th gear corner, and it still is. I should have shoved it into 3rd, so I got better traction coming out of there. But it's very easy for me to talk about it now, but in the race, you know, sometimes these things don't pop out at you, and that's okay. So fluff my gear, and then I let Andy Langley go straight past me. Car number 53. That is annoying. I thought I'd got rid of all this gear fluffing. I think the only races that I haven't fluffed my gears are in the wet of round 3 and last round 4. So annoying. I thought I got rid of that. Every gear change that I fluffed has cost me a place, and you just can't do that. Annoying. And now my straight line speed is kind of pushing me back. I didn't look like I'd lost a great deal there, but I got a better exit, so you know, I can mitigate how much time I lose on the straight by getting a good exit onto the straight, but ultimately, pound for pound, I'm falling back. Now, this is the 3rd and final race of the weekend. Everybody's tyres are 3 races old. Now this is where I think I have an advantage because my car is lighter. less power, which I mentioned, but because we have to be the same power to weight ratio. But if I'm lighter, then I'm less. I'm putting my tyres under less force onto in the corners, so I can look after them a little bit better. So my tyres are actually quite good, and also it comes down to driving style as well. But my tyres are pretty good in this race. They feel pretty good. So, oh yeah, caught up a little bit too much. Tim got caught napping there. Andy went straight through on the undercut. So Andy Langley, car 53, he's the man to beat here because won the first race in the wet, qualified, was fastest qualifier, had a mare unfortunately for him in the second race of the weekend, round 4, but he's now making up for it, and he was setting the fastest laps throughout each race. So I know I'm faster than Tim on this circuit, so I'm just eager to get past Tim and keep up with Andy. Yeah, that was a great move by Andy, and I almost was left a bit napping when that happened. So my focus is on Tim. I'm not sure at this moment where I'm going to take my opportunity. Again, Tim's quick in the straight here, so I'm thinking I'm going to late brake and see if I can get a good exit out of Nelson. Yeah, good gear change into second, floor it, and I get really good traction. I think Tim must have fluffed his gears there or something. I went past him far too easy. Flat out through bomb hole into 5th for Coram. This is where I make up all the time. My tyres are fresher. Well, my tyres aren't fresher. My tyres just seem to be better than everyone else's. I'm gripping the inside line. That's my preferred line. Sometimes I come out a little bit. Yeah. Losing time. Falling back. 2:16. Not bad lap. Getting into my rhythm. Fast through Richie's right-hander, flat out. And I'm now just focused on catching the pack. And I can see that I am doing that. I can see Stu Lane ahead. I think it's a little bit ambitious now. There he goes around Palmer. A little ambitious to think that I'll be catching him. However, you know, you've got to have that in the back of your mind. I want to went wide there. I've got that in the back of my mind that I need to just keep up with these boys, take my chances and get through. It doesn't work out like that. It's these guys are, even though they're bunched up, with Rob leading that pack of 3 there, they're still setting some really good pace. And Andy Montgomery in his R56 is driving amazing. You know, there's no movement there. That gap between each car is just the same every corner. I've fluffed a couple of corners, which is why I've fallen back. On the straight now, I'm going to fall back even further. And so I've just got to keep my composure, keep the belief that I can catch them. I know I can catch them, not a problem. But I fluffed a couple of corners. Second, and we're going to go over the curb, yeah, a little bit, which hinders my traction. But this is Coram, this is my corner. Short shift, no, okay, 5th, there we go. Hug the inside line. I think the right line is to come out a tinsy-wincy bit, but I don't need to go too fast through there because those boys are going to be slowing themselves down. So I just hug the inside line, and the car feels good when I do that. Not a problem. So this is good. This is promising. They're not so far away from me, and I've just set my fastest lap of the race of 2:14.9. I love this corner, Riches. I love it. I love it. I can make up so much time compared to everyone else. and late break in, and I'm right on Andy now. I think we have a little touch. Very conscious of that, so I labour my my acceleration, but this is good. I'm just going to pressurise, pressure, force the mistake. It's going to come somewhere. There's 3 of them. One of them is going to make a mistake, and there it is. Andy goes wide, and I slip in, and I take 4th, and that's the mistake I was looking for. Now Andy's the fastest guy around this circuit, bar none this weekend, and he's now behind me, which is good. So I'm hunting down Andy. I overtook Andy in round 4, so I've got confidence that I can overtake him again. And then I'll be in 3rd, and there'll be maybe a lap or 2 left for me to see what I can do to catch Rob. I'm not thinking about Stu now. Stu's putting in some serious laps. I can't even see him, so I'm not even thinking about that. So again, fall back on the straight, but just in the corners I'm very quick, and I can keep with Andy. I've closed the gap visibly, as you can see, flat out through bomb hole in 4th, onto the curb, shift into 5th. Thank you, that's the better timing. Hug that inside line, just making sure I get a good exit here through Murray's. That's not too bad, it's alright, but you can see Andy getting away. He's in the slipstream of Rob, so that's naturally going to propel him down the straight, and Rob's got good straight line speed, 2:15.5. It's alright, it's consistent, but I wasn't really held up by any traffic on that lap, so I'm half a second down on the previous lap. Okay, so I'm really close now. There's a bit of a lunge down the outside, a bit hopeful there, but nevertheless this is all about keeping the pace through the corners, but at the same time pressurising my opponent to make a mistake. I get a really good exit there, but that R56 of Andy's, it just seems to pull. Those boys at Mad for Mini have built a really good R56 there for Andy Montgomery, car number 44. Andy, God bless him, leaves me a little bit of space, but Hamilton's coming up and it's a flat right-hander, a flat out left-hander for me, so I've got to back out. There's other places on the track that we can look at an overtaking manoeuvre, and I'm just right on him. This is where my car comes into its own at Snetterton, within the infield and round those corners. So I just want to keep close to Andy now, as close as I possibly can, so that in Coram, if I get a good exit out of Brundle and Nelson, flat out through the bomb hole into Coram, then I might be able to do something. But it's a very difficult part of Snetterton track to overtake. So really, it's in the first part of the course through Riches, through Wilson and Palmer that is the best opportunity. I go a bit wide now, go very wide. Andy cuts off the corner now. Andy has a terrible exit. I have a good exit because I sensed I was going too narrow into the corner, so I put myself into second gear, and I got some excellent traction out of Murray's, and I should be all over the back of him by now. I'm in his slipstream as well, but I'm not. I'm going wide. I'm taking my entry early into Riches, but I can see Andy. He clearly got a good run on me. Anyone who's behind me onto the centre straight, I'm a bit frustrated there. Anyone who's onto me on the centre straight, really, if you come out of Murray's, you're going to overtake me. There's nothing I can do about it. But I'm still right on these guys. I know that Andy and the two Andys now are going to be slowing each other up just by the mere fact that they're that close together. So again, I've just got to pick an opportunity here, and I get it just coming after Agostini. Andy makes an amazing overtake. I think Montgomery goes a little bit wide, but it doesn't look too bad, but it is. He misses the apex. Andy nails it. He gets really good traction in his R56 supercharged, and now he's got the inside line. A fair play to Montgomery, he gives him space, so I'm thinking I'm just going to slip straight through, follow Andy. All Montgomery can do is give me room, and he does. And now, as you can see, I'm a menace on the back of Andy's R53. I think I get the better exit here. Andy goes a little bit wide on the exit. My exit is fine. I don't labour the accelerator because he's not close enough, so I'm flat out, and this means I can minimise the distance, the gap that he's going to pull away from me, which I do. So he's not pulling away from me that much, and that's the power of getting a good exit onto a back straight. Well, that's what I'm learning anyway. And again, I'm really slick and smooth through Brundle and Nelson, flat out through the bomb hole. I know this must be the last lap. Time is running out. However, I'm pressurising, and I can see Andy is going wide. His back end is fishtailing. He goes really wide here, and he cuts back across. So I go on the inside. I've got the pace. We make contact, and I manage to get through. Andy Montgomery follows me straight through, and he's now. I haven't got the rear view camera, but he's now coming right up on my inside left. But I make a dash for the line, and I secure P3. It was a great race. I really enjoyed that race. I think for me, the weekend, round 4 was the best race, because I felt that I probably had it. I was hassling Rob, and I was all over him, and then the red flag came out, and that was that. But for me, that was a really rewarding, satisfactory race. Coming from the back of the pack, yeah, there were 3 people that spun off, but I felt that race for me was probably the best so far out of all 5 rounds. This race, it was a really good race, but you can certainly see that these boys are fast, and in a straight line, they've just got the edge on me over Snetterton. So it just made it a little bit more hard work than it really ought to have been around this track. But what that says to me is, you know, I'm driving this car really well around corners. I'm smooth. I understand the balance and the control of this car, and I'm getting the most out of it. And it is a fantastic car. So yeah, really pleased with my performance, and I'm looking forward to going to Silverstone on I think it's the 22nd, 23rd. Check your calendars. I don't know. For that weekend in June around the national circuit. So looking forward to that, and yeah, I'll be doing more of these commentaries and critiquing my performance, and just looking at where I'm good, where I'm bad, where I'm indifferent, and just continue to enjoy it, which I am doing. It's awesome. So I'll catch you later.